What if the greatest warrior alive walked away from war? What if one man's wounded pride could decide the fate of an entire army? The Iliad does not begin with the fall of Troy. It begins with rage. For 9 years the Greeks have besieged the city of Troy. Thousands have died. Heroes have risen and fallen. The war that began over Helen has become a contest of reputation and dominance. At the center of it all stands Achilles. He is faster than any soldier, stronger than any champion, nearly invincible in battle. But when his commander, King Agamemnon, publicly humiliates him and takes Briseis, the captive woman awarded to him as a prize, Achilles feels something worse than loss. He feels dishonored. In the ancient Greek world, honor is identity. It is status, meaning immortality. So Achilles makes a decision that shocks everyone. He refuses to fight. He will let the Greeks suffer. He will let his comrades fall. He will watch the war burn without him. And with that choice, the fate of Troy begins to change. The Trojan War has already lasted nearly a decade. The Greeks sailed across the sea to retrieve Helen, wife of Menelaus, who was taken to Troy by Prince Paris. But this war is no longer about love. It is about pride, power, legacy that will echo through history. Even the gods have chosen sides. Athena and Hera support the Greeks. Apollo favors the Trojans. Zeus attempts balance, but even he bends when destiny demands it. Battles rage outside the towering walls of Troy. Bronze clashes against bronze. Warriors shout their lineage before striking, because glory matters as much as survival. Without Achilles, the Greek army weakens, and one man rises to defend Troy. Hector, prince of the city, son of King Priam, husband, father. Unlike Achilles, Hector does not fight for eternal fame. He fights for home. Hector carries the weight of an entire civilization. Inside Troy live thousands who depend on him. Farmers, elders, children, his wife Andromache, his infant son. In one of the most human moments in ancient literature, Hector returns from battle and finds Andromache holding their child. She begs him not to go back. She has seen the Greek champions. She knows Achilles still lives. She fears the city will fall. But Hector understands something painful. If he refuses to fight, Troy dies anyway. He reaches for his son, but the child recoils, frightened by the bronze helmet and crest. Hector laughs softly, removes the helmet, and lifts the boy into his arms. For a moment, he is not a warrior. He is a father. Then he places the helmet back on his head and walks toward the battlefield. He knows he may never return. As the Trojans push the Greeks back toward their ships, desperation spreads through the Greek camp. Achilles still refuses to fight. But his closest companion, Patroclus, cannot stand by and watch their allies die. He begs Achilles for permission to wear his armor and lead his troops into battle. If the Trojans believe Achilles has returned, fear might drive them back. Achilles agrees with strict instructions. Push them away from the ships. Do not chase them to the walls of Troy. Patroclus enters battle, blazing with borrowed glory. The Trojans retreat in panic. Victory feels unstoppable. And in that rush, Patroclus ignores the warning. He advances too far. The god Apollo strikes him from behind. Hector steps forward and delivers the fatal blow. As Patroclus falls, Hector believes he has killed Achilles. When Achilles hears the truth, something inside him breaks. This is no longer about pride. This is grief, and grief becomes fury. Achilles returns to battle transformed. His mother, the sea goddess Thetis, asks the god Hephaestus to forge him new armor. The shield he receives is engraved with scenes of human life. Cities at peace, fields being harvested, weddings and celebrations. It is a reminder of everything war destroys. Then Achilles steps onto the battlefield. He does not fight for honor. He does not fight for reputation. He fights for revenge. Trojan warriors fall in waves. The river fills with bodies. Even the gods grow uneasy at the scale of violence. Hector knows what is coming. He waits outside the walls of Troy. At first fear overtakes him, and he runs. 3 times he circles the city while Achilles pursues him. But fate cannot be outrun. Hector turns to face his enemy. They fight, and Achilles kills him. But death is not enough. In a final act of rage, Achilles ties Hector's body to his chariot and drags it across the battlefield. The greatest warrior alive has become something brutal and unrecognizable. Days pass. Hector's body lies dishonored. Then something extraordinary happens. King Priam, old and grieving, secretly enters the Greek camp at night. Guided by the gods, he walks into the tent of the man who killed his son. He kneels before Achilles. He kisses the hands that took Hector's life, and he begs for his child's body. Priam does not threaten. He does not curse. He reminds Achilles of his own father. Suddenly Achilles sees not an enemy king, but a grieving parent. For the first time since Patroclus died, Achilles weeps. The 2 enemies sit together and share their sorrow. Achilles returns Hector's body. He grants a truce so Troy may bury its prince. In the middle of war, compassion survives. The Iliad does not show the Trojan Horse. It does not show the fall of Troy. It does not even tell us how Achilles dies. Instead, it focuses on something more intimate: the cost of rage, the fragility of honor, tension between glory and humanity. Achilles chooses eternal fame, knowing it will cost him a long life. Hector chooses duty to his family, even if he cannot save them. Both are brave. Both are flawed. Both are trapped in a culture that demands greatness at any cost. Written nearly 3,000 years ago and attributed to the poet Homer, the Iliad remains one of the foundational works of Western literature. Not because it glorifies war, but because it reveals its tragedy. It asks a question that still matters today. What is worth more? Glory that lasts forever, or mercy that lasts a moment?